everyone, and welcome to Fairy Oasis. My name is Lilian. Today, I'd like to take some time to talk about 2020 and 2021 and goals. I don't think 2020 was easy for any of us. I'm sure plenty of us had lofty goals or just goals. And then the pandemic brought those to a delightful standstill in some cases. I know I still achieved some of my goals, but there was a lot of stuff I couldn't do. But this year, I still plan on having some goals. Mostly, I want to make goals to create certain projects. I'm having a lot of fun with the room boxes that I'm doing, and I'd like to do a little bit more of that, but I'd also like to branch out into some other skills that I haven't really taken the time to work on. One of the things I wanted to work on in 2020 that I didn't end up getting to do was to study color a little bit more. Switch to a clay that had more true colors and study how best to mix them. I'm still pretty happy with how I color mix now, but I thought I'd be able to bring a little bit more of an academic, maybe not even academic, just color theory to it and study that more academically. I might still delve into that, but for now, that's on the back burner. There are 3 dioramas that I'd like to work on, or room boxes. Anyone who's not familiar, a room box is like a dollhouse, but it's just a single room, or sometimes maybe a store, like a little storefront with the store inside. But I have 3 of them that I'd like to work on. First of all, the Cottage Witch's Kitchen, which I started already. And I'm still really excited about that one. However, that one has run into some problems where, since I can't get out to the store to get things, to like touch things and see what would work best, I had to wait a while before I could get the equipment I needed. I have gotten some of the equipment I need, so I am starting to do the experiments to try and progress on that, but that one's going to be a little more slow going since I have to create a refrigerator, a farmhouse sink, an oven, and I think those are the only things I have to make, but I have to figure out how to make those because I want to do them with clay. And ideally, with the fridge, I want to put some kind of metal in the door so that you can actually stick magnets to it. It's one of the main ideas of that project, so that'll be a lot of testing this year. For the rest of it, it should be fairly simple. A lot of pastels and really cute things. A lot of plants. I think that'll be fun once I get that going again. I have started on the farmhouse sink, testing out a new technique, but I'm not sure how well that'll work out. Maybe I'll show you later on. The second one I want to work on, very specifically because of the pandemic and not being able to go out and get things, is I decided I wanted to work on a room box where I didn't have much of a plan at all. I just did things that I really wanted to do and that I had the equipment and the supplies to do here, now, in my home. I did some thinking on it, and I decided that I'm going to do a bedroom. I've already started it. You see a little bit of it in the tutorial that I posted. But the little bit I know that I want to do with it is it'll be a bedroom. It's going to have painted walls, very much inspired by Christine McConnell's wallpaper style painted walls in her home. I was just gorgeous. I love seeing her work. It just makes me want to create things. And when I saw those walls, I was like, could I do that in miniature? How cool would that look? And I've done that part. I finished that part of that project, and I'm real happy with it. Additionally, I've got this velvety fabric. It was some clothing that someone was getting rid of, and I was like, I could make something out of this. And I decided I'm going to go ahead and try carpeting for that project. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I don't think the velvety fabric is going to be enough, so I'm going to put something underneath it, between it and the floor, so that you get that more carpet feel. Make it a little denser so that when I put stuff in, it doesn't just right to the cardboard of the bottom of the box. But it's a purple carpet, which is going to be pretty intense. But I've got some other ideas for that project, and I'm real excited about doing that. The main idea for that one is just to have a project that I can do. I have everything here because those are kind of the rules of the project. And so I'm going to make progress, because it feels so disheartening when your projects like go in hiatus or can't make progress because you have to do a certain part before you do other parts, and you don't have the stuff to do that, so you're waiting on that. So this is kind of both branching out with less planning and building skills that I really want to work on, and just bolstering my confidence. But I think this project is going to be a lot of fun. The third one I want to work on, I've done all square boxes. The only exception is my kitchen one has a little bit off the edges, so that I can do some like garden bits on the outside of the building. But they're all squares. And when I started working with it was the craft glue instead of the hot glue, I've got more time, and it seems fairly stable. So I want to try something that's not a box, something that's not a square box. I love Kiki's delivery service. It is so cute, and I love those Ghibli vibes. But I would love it if I could try and do Kiki's attic room. And that will take a lot of planning for, because it's going to have a roof style ceiling. It's a pentagon. Yeah, a pentagon. But it's going to take more shaping, and I think it'd be so much fun. I would also, of course, have to make a little Gigi. And since my cat design is based loosely on Gigi, that should be fun. I think because I've seen a lot of art of Gigi with a little red ribbon, but he never really wears that in the movie. I still think that'd be cute. I did read the book. There's a book for Kiki's delivery service. There's a series, actually, and I've read the first one. I'm going to have to wait for them to all be translated, but it'd be a lot of fun to add details in to the diorama that are only in the book, just as a little extra. But I'm not going to start on that one until I have a lot more done on the other two, but I am looking forward to planning and doing that one. Other than the dioramas, the skills I want to try and work on are doll making. Not necessarily sure I want to make dolls, but I definitely want to try some of those sculpting skills. You don't really find, there are a lot of porcelain dolls and other dolls in the 1/12 scale. I'm not particularly pleased with a lot of the options. I would like more variety, and I do like the ball joint dolls and the dolls that have more movement, something where you could like set them up so that they're like sitting on the edge of the bed or something. I'm not going to get into the really deep details of trying to make dolls. I'm mostly going to focus at this point on trying to do face sculpting. I do sculpting in a lot of other areas, but this is a little bit different from the stuff I've done, so it'll be a challenge. I have started doing crocheting more. I learned how to do a little bit of crocheting, mostly just the chain stitch when I was a kid, but I wasn't really given the space to play with that more, even though I was real excited about it. So I've started making some stuff, and I've tried crocheting with some of the hemp material I have, and that worked. I was actually really happy with that. So once I have a little bit more of the crocheting under my belt, more skills with different, what are they called? Stitches. Once I know more stitches and I'm more confident and I can make things look a little bit better, and I know how to manipulate patterns a little bit more, I want to try doing some stuff to add into my dollhouses. The other skill that I want to work on and learn is woodworking. I eventually want to make wood room boxes, and I don't know what the word is for it, but where you like go through scrap materials that people are getting rid of to like scavenge things to make new things. And I've actually gotten some wood that I thought would be really cool for a project down the line now, because I still have to cut it into the shape I need it. But I hadn't gotten into woodworking because I knew I needed a jigsaw for a lot of the 1/12 scale things. Well, it turns out one of the people I live with has a jigsaw and has had a jigsaw this entire time, so I need to learn how to use that. I also need to learn how to use drill safely. Well, I've learned the drill safety stuff. I need to learn how to use it now. I've got a project that I want to drill into a dowel rod, and I think I need to practice with something not round first. But yeah, woodworking. I want to start working with wood, because that'd be fun and more durable than cardboard. I actually started doing room boxes with cardboard because I wanted to build all the other skills that go into making a room box while I don't have that skill that I thought I needed supplies, tools for. Yeah. So yeah, those are some of the things I want to try and do in 2021. And I'm hoping I can share more with you all here. Let me know if there are any hobby-related skills or projects you want to work on this year, and how you're going to take into consideration isolation and the pandemic into them. Well, ta-ta.